prince must know how to act like a fox and a lion. The lion cannot protect itself from traps, and the fox cannot defend itself from wolves. You feel those strings at your throat. Each tug, a silent command, guilt, charm, urgency. The manipulators are predators lurking beyond your vision, whispering commands, dressed as concern. Every time you relent, you cede another inch of your territory, your influence, your voice, your peace. You are prey on a battlefield where every conversation is a skirmish, and losing means becoming a pawn in someone else's war. You wake up in the morning scrolling through your phone and notice how easily a flattering message anchors itself to your ego and how casually you surrender to it. That message becomes a siege, slowly eroding your judgment. You lose friendship capital, mental clarity, momentum, and perhaps a part of your identity, all without raising your sword. Now feel the weight of what's at stake. With every moment you stay blind, the manipulators tighten their nets. They feed on that blindness. Your life, once a sovereign realm, flattens into a board where they move you with invisible hands, pushing you into traps, jobs you don't want, relationships that drain, boundaries you never set. But here comes your wake-up call. You are not their pawn. Awareness is your rallying cry. It sharpens your gaze, reveals the nets, and restores the chessboard. You reclaim your mind's throne as the only battlefield you truly command. You stand, imagining yourself crowned first in a silent war chamber. Every whisper becomes recognizable, every move predictable. You become both fox and lion, recognizing falsehoods, exposing traps, and striking with clarity and control. Command your territory now. You see the strings. You cut them. I am not your pawn. It is better to be feared than loved. If you cannot be both, you sit upon your mental throne. Rooms of doubt, chambers of guilt, corridors of flattery. They lie in wait, siege engines poised to breach your walls. Emotional manipulation creeps through your defenses like silent infiltrators. Guilt, fear, flattery, tools sharper than any blade. You feel the siege of thought tightening, the ruins of your certainty collapsing moment by moment. You, the monarch of your mind, look out at a court deserted. Too many have abandoned their judgment, relinquished the seat of power to subtle commanders, social media, persuasive voices, unsolicited opinions. They allow every word to swipe at their resolve, every compliment to chip away at their foundation. You are not immune. You've seen it, one flattering text and your will wavers. One guilt-laden comment and you capitulate. You stand empty-handed on your throne, while others play the puppeteer. But now, awareness arrives like the sentinel in the night. You open your eyes to the court, realizing that you are both king and guard. You see the manipulation as the fox in the shadows, flattery disguised as praise, a guilt trip wrapped in obligation, fear arriving as false alarm. You stand fully aware, ready to lead, not to be led. You command your thoughts as battalions under your flag. Identify the invaders. Recognize guilt disguised as duty. Classify flattery meant to distract. Decode the fear designed to bend you. Every whisper to conform. Every pressure to perform. You see it all. Seize the battlefield. Do not respond immediately. Delay. Let the arrows fly past while you prepare your defenses. Set boundaries with the precision of a gate closing before the carriage arrives. Respond only when your voice is steady, your sword unwavering. You reclaim territory with each pause, each refusal to be baited. You guard your mind like a fortress, unyielding, alert, sovereign. This is not a passive throne. This is a fortress built of discipline and clarity. You stand as sentinel. Every thought filtered through you, every move calculated, not reactionary. You are the lion in the hall. Aware, regal, untouchable. No invader finds purchase. Now, feel the surge of your regained dominion. The fortress stands unbroken. You are both king and protector. You claim your throne by vigilance. You win because you see. Raise your standard. I rule my mind. No game controls me. It is far safer to be feared than loved, if one must fail in one of the two. You wake before the sunrise. Darkness still clings to your room, and yet the battlefield has already been drawn. In that silent hour, notifications creep in like enemy scouts. Headlines bombard you like distant cannon fire, your mind reeling before it even wakes. This is the ambush at dawn, when your defenses are down and your focus is stolen. In today's world, manipulators don't wait. They launch their assault through the soft hum of your phone, the urgent red badge that demands your gaze. One glance, and your attention fractures. You're drawn into someone else's agenda before you've taken your first breath. You, on the other hand, must choose your weapon before the war begins. The morning ritual is your shield, forged in ancient wisdom and hardened by modern science. It is your fortress at dawn. Journaling, planning, a moment of calm. These aren't luxuries. They are the walls you build before the invaders arrive. Research shows that when you reflect on your goals first thing, your focus sharpens and your day gains momentum. You don't react, you strategize. Imagine this. The world outside your window is an army massing in the distance. You sit in stillness, analyzing the terrain. No message, no news alert gets in. You're a general reviewing the map, not a soldier chasing rumors on the wind. Now, silence, the greatest weapon before the first arrow flies. You breathe deep. You see the manipulation before it surfaces, flattery disguised as a compliment, urgency masquerading as necessity, guilt hidden in concern. You quiet your mind and the falsehoods unravel. Without this pause, the arrow of persuasion would strike you unprepared. With it, you deflect the blow, untouched. So before you open your eyes fully, you ground yourself. Sit in the stillness. Ask, what am I building? Who do I serve today? What territory do I claim before others demand control? These are the commands of sovereignty. These ritual chords anchor you, turning ordinary actions into strategic moves. Feel the stakes. Fail to guard this hour, and you wake as a puppet, strings attached before your mind even focuses. You are bait for every manipulator lurking in your feed. But win this hour, and you begin in power. You command your thoughts before the world attempts to hijack them. The throne of your day is yours to claim. You rise, not drained, not reactive, sharp, unbroken. You have already won. I own the dawn. It is better to keep your intentions hidden than to lay bare your vulnerabilities. You sit, silent in the center of the arena. No words slip from your lips. No gesture invites the next blow. Stillness is not surrender. It is the predator's ambush, the fox concealed in shadow. You force the manipulator to act, to reveal the snare they've laid out. In that silence, they betray themselves. The predator who waits is not fictional, it's a tactical truth. When you refuse to respond, manipulators grow impatient. Their calm facade cracks, they overstep. A guilt-laced question becomes a trap. Open wide. A flattering compliment becomes an obvious bait. Silence draws them out, exposes their play. Pause. Let the air burn with an unspoken threat. In that snare of your own making, they fumble. You do not react, you observe. You let their urgency become their undoing. Modern voices whisper that pausing not only grants clarity, it commands authority. One breath, a blink, and you interrupt the manipulator's rhythm. Their script collapses. You regain control simply by not moving first. When they expect a reaction, deliver silence. Watch them falter under the weight of your unyielding calm. In your mind's arena, there is no echo. You do not mirror their intensity. You do not mirror their fear. You remain still, and their weapons bounce off empty air. When they attempt to provoke anger, you stay serene. When they try guilt, you stay grounded. Their emotional missiles dissipate against your composure. This isn't passive, it is calculated. The arena becomes neutral. You strip them of leverage. They fling insults. You stay quiet. They weave guilt. You hold your ground. Emotion has no purchase where calm reigns. Every provocation loses power when met with silence. Now, issue your commands. Do not answer the call immediately. Do not mirror the trigger they pull. Remain still. Let them reveal their hand. Then strike, not with words, but with measured clarity. Feel the stakes. If you react, you walk straight into their line of fire. You lose territory on your mental battlefield. If you stay still, you dismantle the trap before it snaps. You draw the arrow only when you are ready, not when they demand. You are not bait. You are the strategist in the throne room. Letting the invader expose himself, from stillness, you command. You move when victory is certain. You rise from silence, unmoved and sovereign. I move only when my throne is unchallenged. It is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles. Your circle may hold a single contagion disguised as loyalty. That one manipulator is the poison in your well, seeping into every drop, tainting the whole. Groups tremble under the weight of one rotten apple. In teams, one toxic presence can spawn dysfunction across the board, lowered morale, burnt-out spirits, and collapsing performance. Let that grip your mind. You cannot afford to tolerate compromise in your court. This is not separation, it is survival. When you extend mercy to your manipulator, you do not heal the wound, deepens. Sympathy lulls you into surrender. You excuse their behavior, rationalize their lies. You give them rope to tighten their grip. Your compassion becomes your executioner. But what if it doesn't have to be this way? Imagine yourself holding a blade, cold, unsentimental, decisive. You do not announce the strike. No drama, no explanations to soften the blow. You do not linger in goodbye. You sever. You cut the strings that bind you to dishonor. You break the chain in silence, so they cannot tug again. Now, execute these commands. Stand guard over your well. Do not summon the poison within. Defer mercy that damages. When manipulation surfaces, don't debate it, delete it. Strike decisively. End the connection without preamble or remorse. Feel the stakes burn inside. Tolerate the poison any longer, and your entire kingdom erodes. Your clarity, your energy, your identity. Every compromise constructs the manipulator's throne, not yours. But take the blade, cold and unwavering, and you reclaim your dominion. You establish your fortress on solid ground. You are not cruel. You are strategic. Mercy to the manipulator is not compassion. It is compromise. You guard your mind's throne as a ruler, not a caretaker. The battlefield is cleared before you return. You rise from the dust of betrayal, stronger for the cut. I spare no poison near my crown. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. You stand before the world, not as your true self, but as a mask. Leaders through the ages have mastered this art. They have cloaked their inner fears, hardened their voice, and shaped their face into armor. History recalls generals who rode into battle with faces carved from stone. Napoleon, Caesar, Boudica, each displaying unshakable resolve. Even when horror lurked behind their eyes, their mask became their shield. You today face a similar front. Your vulnerabilities are not absent, they are weapons in your enemy's hands. Manipulators circle seeking emotional fissures, doubt, neediness, insecurity. If you bleed, they use that. So you wear the mask of command. You never twitch, you never let blood surface in the water. The arena watches you reveal only certainty. In daily life, that means no emotional flare-ups, no show of pain. You don't let stress leak into your tone. You don't post the meltdown after midnight. You control your image, the tone, the response, the presence, because once they smell blood, they pounce. Manipulators thrive on messy emotions. You starve them. You remain unbroken. Imagine the mask becoming you, not falsehood, but evolution. You practice the posture, the tone, the unwavering gaze, and soon it arrives naturally. The mask becomes the face. Your inner state follows your exterior. You speak with certainty, and your mind aligns. You act with calm, and your emotions settle. You become the commander you pretend to be. Now, these are your commands. Forge your face into armor. Feel nothing before action. Never let doubts leak. Keep your tone controlled. Wear the mask until it becomes you, and then act from it, unbreakable. The stakes could not be higher. Show weakness, and the manipulator will seize the crown of your mind. They will outmaneuver you on that battlefield, but wear your mask like a blade, cold and purposeful, and they will falter, unaware they're facing a throne, not a mind. You are no pretender. You are the general. Your mask holds power. You become unshakable. I am the mask and the man. It ought to be remembered that there is nothing more difficult to take in hand, more perilous to conduct, or more uncertain in its success. You glance inward and confront what lurks within your predictable triggers, the need for approval, the pang of guilt, the lure of vanity. These are not mere quirks, they are the assassin's dagger, waiting in your shadow to strike when you least expect it. This is how manipulation begins, not from outside, but from within. Your triggers are traceable. When you seek approval, you compromise your throne, surrendering judgment for fleeting praise. Guilt becomes a trap, your sensitivity weaponized against you. Vanity blinds your vision, making flattery a mask that conceals your own ambitions. These fractures are not unique, they are universal. Each opens a door for manipulation to creep in. You more than anyone must face the assassin inside first. You are often your own worst manipulator. You replay conversations in your mind, twisting them to justify choices that betray your values. You consent to demands you despised after the fact, because guilt whispered, manipulation disguised as self-criticism swayed you. Social media ads appeal to vanity and distort perception. You find yourself buying into a narrative, reshaping desire to match a carefully curated illusion. Every time you cave to that pressure, you empower the internal enemy. But here is the path to domination. The clean kill. You strike the assassin's dagger before it is raised. This is not a fight of emotion. It is silent and cold. You identify each trigger and dismantle it. You practice discipline, recognize approval seeking, label it, and refuse to act on it. Let guilt arise and welcome it as information, not impulse. Vanity emerges. You acknowledge the desire and then discard the mirror. You train this until the dagger lies dull at your feet. Command your internal battlefield. See your triggers and name them. Do not act on them. Discipline becomes your silent blade. The stakes could not be higher. Each moment you fail to eliminate that inner weapon, it inches closer, waiting to be wielded by outside manipulators who sense weakness. Let it strike once, and your foundation shatters, but cut it out, Sever the root and you become untouchable. You are not at war with yourself. You are refining strength. You are the assassin of your weaknesses. When self-discipline becomes second nature, no external player can claim victory. You rise, purified. I have killed my weakness. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. You stand in the arena of your own mind, where two wolves circle. The manipulated sheep, weak, compliant, eager for crumbs, and the predator wolf, sharp, ruthless, hungry for sovereignty. You hold the key. Whichever wolf you feed grows, neglect strength, and the predator starves. You become bait. History proves it. Armies fall when discipline dies. A throne abandoned is seized. You cannot rule if you're starving. In your daily life, this is painfully clear. You wait for approval, collapse under guilt. Let vanity lure you into traps. Every like you seek, every compromise you accept, dulls your edge. The predator inside withers while the sheep bleats for validation. You become easy prey, but there's another path. Training that hunger actively. Seek discomfort. Chase challenges. Sharpen instincts until they're blades of certainty. Wake up early. Work without affirmation. Speak truth when silence is safe. In these moments, the predator rises from dust to dominance, fierce and unwavering. And here's the final transformation. Your wolf enters the throne room, not as the beast of impulse, but as the architect of rule. You let the predator serve your crown, not devour it. You channel that power with discipline. You are not wild, you are calculated, strategic, sovereign. Now command yourself. Feed strength with challenge. Starve weakness by refusing to beg for approval. Own instincts through discomfort. Let the predator serve your throne, not your impulses. The stakes are raw. Feed the sheep and you become soft, predictable, controlled. Feed the wolf and you become untouchable, the predator among pawns. The world bows to those who hunt, not to those who beg. You rise, royalty forged in hunger. I feed the wolf within. It is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles. You stand at the center of life's chessboard, where every conversation, every relationship, every emotion is a move in a vast silent war. Manipulators are cunning opponents. They bait you with emotional chess gambits, sacrificing pawns to lure you into traps. You must not be fooled by their baited pawn. They seek to provoke emotional reactions that fracture your focus and strip you of power. Imagine the chessboard as your life, where the pawn sacrifice is disguised as a fleeting insult, a guilt-laden message, or a flattering hand extended. Each is bait, set to lure you into reacting. You felt it. The sudden stab of anger when someone twists your words. The shame when guilt is deployed like a dagger. Recognize these baited moves. Recognize the trap before reacting. This is not a game to be played with emotion. It's a war of intellect. See the opponent across the board. The guilt tripper, whispering that you owe more than you can give. The flatterer, coating your ego in praise while tightening control. The gaslighter, eroding your reality with denial and distortion. These are your knights and bishops, each with a unique reach, each armed with a different form of psychological manipulation. In today's world, you face a spectrum of tactics: charm that blinds, shame that cripples, confusion that destabilizes. The manipulator adapts today, one face, tomorrow another. But their aim remains the same: to outmaneuver, distract, and claim your territory. But you are no mere pawn. You envision the end game. A throne, not a reaction. You don't play for the moment. You play for legacy. You see 10 moves ahead. You anticipate the trap, expose it, and strike before they realize the board is already yours. The true strategist understands that every emotional pawn they offer is a window into their plan. The real power lies in refusing the emotional bait and making the move that secures your throne. Now, issue your commands. See the pawn sacrifice. Do not bite. Identify the knight, the bishop, the deceiver across the board. Think not for the moment, but for the throne. The stakes are severe. Fall for the bait, and you're forced into their game, your resolve shattered, your territory invaded. But dominate the board, and every move is yours. Every manipulator is confronted well before they act. You don't survive their game, you finish it on your terms. You stand as master of the board, vision clear, hand steady. I play for the crown, not the pawn. It is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles. You stand within the fortress of your mind, every wall reinforced by ritual. Without these rituals, your mental stronghold crumbles under the weight of manipulation. History whispers of Sparta, a civilization forged in ritual and discipline. Boys were raised in the agoge, enduring deprivations to build resilience. They drifted through hunger, cold, and daily trials not by chance, but by design. A relentless ritual that hardened both body and spirit. This is the legacy of the walls of Sparta. Now look at your own life. You live in a world that begs you to react, to be seduced by distraction, by impulse, by every clever lure, but you fight with daily drills of power, meditation, journaling, cold exposure, each one a weapon, each one a declaration of sovereignty. In modern research, cold exposure doesn't just soothe muscles, it forges mental resilience, sharpens focus, and trains your stress response to bend, not break. Meditation does not merely calm, it resets the battlefield of your subconscious. When the siege begins, it is already too late if you haven't prepared. Rituals are not reactions. They are the forges in which your iron will is hammered into existence. Before the storm of manipulation hits, before distracted thoughts, emotional bait, or urgent demands, they find no ground. The fortress stands unbreached. Issue your commands. Build your walls every morning. Strengthen your mind with ritual, not impulse. Defend before invasion, not after. The stakes are fierce. Without ritual, you offer open gates to every manipulator. The algorithm, the panic in your inbox, the urgent demand for your attention. With ritual, you become a citadel, impenetrable and calm. You are not reacting, you are ruling. Rise in ritual. My will is armor. It is dangerous to be loved by those who can pull your strings. You stand cloaked in armor thick as myth. Manipulation plays off that steel like arrows, shattered against hardened shields. You are untouchable. Throughout history, figures who couldn't be swayed defined true mastery. For instance, the philosopher king who refused flattery and betrayal alike, or the unbending ruler whose resolve outlasted every whisper at court. Leaders like Chanakya, whose calculated strategies built empires with iron precision, never let charisma or false loyalty erode their will. You embody that legacy of impregnable command. Today, manipulators search for handles to grasp. Approval, comfort, validation. They probe, they prod, they whisper sweet lies designed to lure you into dependence, but you offer them no purchase. You rise immune to their bait. You strip away the emotional hooks. Public praise won't sway your judgment. Fleeting comfort won't cloud your vision. Validation from others won't define your worth. In that space where no handle exists, you become the ghost on the battlefield. You move without leaving a trail. Predictable? Never. Controlled always by yourself. No one knows your next move. You exist in strategic invisibility, free from the snares that trap lesser rulers. You are a master of both armor and movement. Now issue your commands. Erase every handle they can grip. Detach from the need to be liked, comforted, or affirmed. Move unseen. Predict nothing. Act only on your terms. The world trades in control. It whispers for your compliance. Fall into their patterns. Let the strings brush you, and you become prey. But stand without handles. Come untraceable. You concede nothing. You command everything. You rise untethered, regal alone, unstoppable. I am the ghost they cannot touch. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Here, in this final battle, the choice is stark. Are you the puppet or the master? Every lesson converges into one decisive war. The moment where internal discipline and external dominance collide. You ignite the final war by burning the strings that once held you captive. First, you purge the internal chains, the poison of self-doubt, the comfort of approval, the lure of validation, each one a string tied to your throne. You eliminate them with ruthless clarity. Then you assert external dominance, moving through the world not as prey, but as predator. You have become the strategist, not the manipulated. You do not just respond, you initiate. The throne stands secured. You were once the subject, pulled and prodded by others. Now you are the architect. Your transformation is complete. From victim to strategist, from prey to predator. The crown is no longer worn, it is wielded. And the battlefield? It belongs to you. Manipulators cannot even make their first move. They stare across the chessboard, but the game is already beyond them. Each bait brought to them meets only emptiness. Your silence, your foresight, your unbreakable will. Every arrow they launch glances off your armor before it forms. Now, issue your commands. Burn the strings that held you. Command every move with internal and external mastery. Begin the battle as the unchallenged victor. The stakes have never been higher. Remain a pawn and you live for others' narratives, your throne built by their hands. Step into mastery and every manipulative game dissolves before it begins. The battlefield does not challenge you, it submits. You are no longer a player in someone else's war. You are the war. You are the throne. You are untouchable. I burn the strings. I command the war. The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. Look now into the mirror. Not the glass in your bathroom. The mirror of power. The reflection it shows you is brutal. Manipulation only works if you allow it. Every string ever tied to you, every whisper that bent your will, every game that made you dance. It happened because in some way you gave permission. The final choice is not in their hands. It has always been in yours. This is the last mirror, the last test. You either see yourself as the puppet, nodding along to the music of others, or you see yourself as the master, the one who breaks the tune, silences the crowd, and commands the stage. In modern life, the strings look harmless, the craving for likes on a screen, the fear of speaking what you truly think, the quiet submission at work when you know the truth, but bite your tongue. These are not small compromises, they are chains, and every chain tightens until you suffocate. Now picture the throne. It is not symbolic, it is real. Someone is sitting on it right now. If it is not you, it is someone else. There is no neutral ground. A throne left empty will always be claimed. You cannot pretend you are outside the game. The game surrounds you whether you acknowledge it or not. Imagine a kingdom where the king disappears. The throne does not vanish. The vultures circle. The strongest steps forward. That is how life works. Either you claim the throne, or you are ruled by the one who does. This is why the throne is non-negotiable. It does not ask if you are ready. It does not wait for you to feel confident. It is taken by those who dare. Now comes the final command, the mantra, the words you must carve into your bones, repeat until they harden your spirit like steel. Say it as if you were declaring war. Say it as if you were driving a blade through the old self, cutting the strings forever. No one plays me. I am the one who commands. Again. Louder, stronger. No one plays me. I am the one who commands. This is your oath, your shield, your war cry. Carry it into every room, every conversation, every battle of your life. When you feel the pull of manipulation, speak it. When you see the bait laid in front of you, speak it. When doubt tries to creep back in, speak it. The world bends to those who command themselves, and from there they command everything else. No one plays me. I am the one who commands.